A bill advancing through the South Carolina Senate is renewing the debate over how the state preserves and explains its history. It would broaden protections for historical monuments and memorials while restricting updates like adding QR codes for added context. State House reporter Stephen Biddix has more on the fiery debate involving the bill.
A new bill would provide these historical monuments extra protections, but Democrats say they protect controversial figures and don't tell the true story.
This is not preserving heritage. It's the opposite. It's making it harder.
Republicans say this bill protects South Carolina's history. The Heritage Act expansion would shield nearly every monument, statue, road, and building name in South Carolina. Republican Senator Danny Verdon says the bill keeps those memorials exactly as intended.
And the speech, the presentation, the offering for multiple generations of posterity is a snapshot in time.
Under the bill, lawmakers would approve any changes to these memorials. Democrats tried to give local governments more control, but Republicans say that's how Charleston removed the John C. Calhoun statue in 2020. Calhoun served as vice president and was a vocal supporter of slavery.
You know, trusting local communities is how we lost the Calhoun statue, so I moved to table this.
The bill also bans QR codes. Charleston Senator Ed Sutton says that puts South Carolina behind the times and limits what people can learn about the state's history.
No one can provide a single example of how that's been used negative. Nobody. I kept asking, where's this coming from? No other state in this country has banned QR codes on state-owned property. Where's this coming from? Couldn't get a good answer for that.
Republicans pushed back, saying history should be taught as it was written, regardless of whether you agree with it.
But what has been put there in this public space in the historic past deserves to continue to speak within the context of the people that were the actors and agents.
The bill now heads to the House under a tight deadline. Lawmakers expect this year's session to end on May 14th, just 4 legislative weeks away. Reporting at the State House, I'm Stephen Biddix.